At the beginning of the third Jurassic Park film, we are introduced to Eric Kirby and his mother's boyfriend, Ben Hildebrand. This pair of visitors parasail above Isla Sorna in an effort to see living dinosaurs for themselves. After the San Diego incident featured at the end of The Lost World, Isla Sorna was given restricted status, and both the Costa Rican and United States governments set up measures to keep people out and recognize the island as a biological preserve and lost world for these ancient beings. However, the public became aware of the existence of dinosaurs, and as such, small illegal businesses like the DINO-SOAR boat ride seen in the film attempted to make a profit off of the public's yearning for seeing living dinosaurs for themselves with their own eyes. Unfortunately, while gliding through the air, the boat Eric and Ben are attached to starts to shake violently once it enters an area filled with cloudy mist, and when it comes back out into view, all of the crew are missing and blood has splashed itself onto the deck. The roof also appears to be badly slashed, and it's presumed everyone on board has suddenly died a most surprising and horrible death. Now, the question as to what exactly killed the crew of this boat has been asked repeatedly by fans of the Jurassic Park franchise, and from what we can gather in the film, people have come up with three separate theories. The first of which is the belief that none other than the Spinosaurus was the culprit in this attack, as the animal is both aquatic as well as land-dwelling. The only problem with this assumption is the factor of the boat's speed is never really touched on when talking about this possibility. It would be rather difficult for the Spino to attack the boat while it's continuing its journey as fast as it was in the film. Now, others believe it could have possibly been the Teranodons. Now, this theory has a slight issue in credibility if one considers the reality of the pterosaurs being locked in their aviary up until our protagonist unlocked the door that was keeping them trapped inside. Now, we know that other Teranodons lived on Sorna because of the ending of The Lost World, but this is an entirely separate part of the island from that film, and it would be rather odd seeing two separate versions of the animals attacking our group in the same movie. The final theory is that an aquatic reptile of some sort was involved in the attack on the boat, and while the Mosasaurus was eventually cloned in Jurassic World, there actually is some credible evidence to support the inclusion of plesiosaurs, and that other sea beasts may have been on InGen's mind. But more on that in another video. Now, we can speculate all we want about who or what was responsible for the attack and get nowhere with what evidence we are given in the film itself. However, there does exist a very real answer to this question if one reads an earlier version of JP3's script. In one of the many different versions of this film's screenplay, Alan Grant actually sees the destroyed wreckage of the DINO-SOAR boat before Eric and the others do, and asks the boy to go spend time with his parents while the helicopters arrive to lift them off of the island. He does this in an effort to protect Eric from any trauma the boy may receive when seeing the destroyed vessel, and ventures to it himself in order to get concrete answers. He finds that the ship is actually mostly intact with the presence of only a little bit of blood spattered around in some areas, but finally finds three large claw marks slashed through the damaged parts of the boat. These three marks are seen again once Grant goes outside of the boat and sees their imprints in the wet sand along the beach. Coincidental? As the helicopter approaches the survivors on the beach, Eric cries out to Alan that they are saved, to which Grant responds, talking low only to himself, that they most certainly are not. He runs away from the boat and tries to wave down the chopper, screaming as loud as he can to no avail. He shouts, "No, stay back, they're in the trees!" Then, in both a gorgeous and terrifying sight, Teranodons burst through the tree line of Sorna and attack the helicopters that have come to pick up the remaining humans trapped on the island. A battle ensues with the choppers and the pterosaurs, but it should be noted that this is only one of several endings made for the third film, and it would be much better to make a separate video detailing exactly what happens in this version rather than just skimming over it quickly to answer this question. So the real answer was supposed to be revealed as being the Teranodons. Now, even though I joked earlier about the three slashes being a possible connection to the tracks Grant finds around the boat, and also the slashes he sees in the wreck itself, I honestly feel like this was what the title and font were originally supposed to represent. I say this always having believed that the three marks were meant to be a Spinosaurus claws doing damage to something, but I'm beginning to think that all of this evidence, along with the knowledge of what the film was originally supposed to be, which is a mystery surrounded on the Pteranodons killing people, that the marks are actually talons from the pterosaurs. Now, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, I'd appreciate it if you left me a like, and hope you consider subscribing if you haven't already so that you can see me again. What are your thoughts on this bit of the screenplay that was cut from the film, and do you think it would have been cool if we were to see it? Thanks for watching the video, guys, and as always, take it easy.